So in this unit, we are going to discuss a very important chapter, and the name of the chapter is coordination compounds. When we talk about coordination compound, student, as the name suggests, it reflects understanding of a very special type of the bond, and that is coordinate bond. Basically, when we discuss about coordination compound, so in general, in any coordination compound, if you'll see, there is a metal, and this metal atom is intact or attached with certain groups which have lone pair of electrons. Generally, the group which have lone pair of electrons and intact with the metal have tendency to donate electron and form coordinate bond. These groups are referred as ligands. So coordination compound, whenever we discuss, always it is consisting of three things. First, metal atom, and basically this metal atom is consisting of what? D block, that is transition element, and it is intact with the ligand, and there is a formation of coordinate bond between metal and the ligand, where ligand is electron donor group and the metal is electron acceptor group. But before going into the detail, we should understand how the coordination compound is formed. Student, coordination compound is a type of addition or molecular compounds. If you want to prepare molecular compounds, first you should understand the meaning of it. See, in science, they have talked about addition and molecular compounds. When solution containing two or more simple and stable compounds, if they are taken into the molecular proportion and if they are allowed to evaporate followed by crystallization. These salts like carnallite, potash alum, Morse salt, and these all salt, that is FeCN twice KCN, KCN and AgCN, these all salts, and there are many more which are the examples of addition or molecular compounds. Now if you want to prepare these compounds, like suppose if you want to prepare KCl and MgCl2, that is carnallite. So as per this preparation method, you have to prepare aqueous saturated solution of two simple salt, since carnallite is consisting of or combination of two simple salt, one is KCl and one is what, MgCl2. So you have to take two test tube. In one test tube you will prepare saturated solution of salt 1, and here the salt 1 is KCl. In another test tube you will prepare saturated solution of salt 2, and here the salt 2 is what, MgCl2. After preparing the aqueous and saturated solution of salt 1 and salt 2, you have to mix this two salt solution into evaporating dish, and then you have to evaporate it. If you will just evaporate it and if you crystallize it, this crystal, this solid substance which will obtain is obtained by combination of saturated solution of two simple salts like KCl and MgCl2. And the formula of this crystal will be this. So such salt which is prepared by mixing aqueous saturated solution of two simple salts followed by crystallization is referred as addition or molecular compounds. Suppose if we have to prepare this, then in order to prepare this, again in the first test tube you will take what? Salt 1. Let's take salt 1 is what, KCN. You will prepare the aqueous solution of the KCN and you will mix this aqueous solution of FeCN twice. After mixing it, let us evaporate it, and the crystal that you will obtain, again it is a combination of two simple salt. So if you will check the method of preparation of the first salt and the method of the preparation of second salt is same. So these two are the example of addition or molecular compounds. Student, coordination compound is also prepared by same method, but coordination compound is little different from the addition compound, though method of preparation of the coordination compound is same with these compounds. But when the coordination compound and other addition compound dissolve in water, their behavior is what different. To understand this, if you will see, I have taken two different salts. Let's say the very first salt which I have taken is what, potash alum. Now we all know that the potash alum formula is K2SO4 dot Al2SO4 tries dot 24H2. And another addition compound I have taken, which is formed by the combination of aqueous saturated solution of FeCN twice and potassium cyanide. Now these two both salts have prepared by same method. These two both salts have solid state and they both are the example of addition or molecular compounds. But still, when they are taken into the aqueous medium, there is difference in their properties. Their aqueous solution behave differently even they are prepared by the same method. To understand this, let us understand certain terms over here. When this potash alum is dissolved in this aqueous solution, let us take some quantity of this. Basically, it is a solid salt, and some few crystals of this potash alum is taken into this aqueous solution. This is the beaker, and this beaker is consisting of some aqueous solution. I just want to dissolve it, and in another beaker I have taken same quantity of this solid salt, which also a part of addition compounds. Now in order to dissolve this, let us add one stirrer and stir it properly. So when you will stir it, every time what will happen, the quantity of this salt will decrease and both salt will get what, disappear. Normally student, whenever, let's take the example of NaCl. Now we all know that NaCl is what it is in the solid state and it is highly stable in the solid state. The reason of stability in the solid state, as the constituent particle of NaCl are what, ions, and these ions are positively charged Na, which is called cation, and negatively charged Cl minus, which is called anion. So there is a strong force of attraction which exists in the solid medium. This strong force of attraction between cations and anions is referred as electrostatic force of attraction, or you can say ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So this ionic bond or electrovalent bond is responsible to hold these ions together in the solid state. But the moment if this salt is taken into what, aqueous medium, suppose if this is the beaker and it is consisting of water, let's say it is aqueous medium, and if we'll mix this salt here, so first you will observe what, solid state. After some time, if you will just stir it student, what will happen, this solid will start disappear. This solid will completely disappear. It is indicating this solid particle, the bond which was present between NaCl has completely broken. If you'll see, initially it was solid, but when it was taken into the aqueous medium, it disappears. It disappears because the water has ability to break this bond. So if this bond breaks, it gets converted to what, smaller anions, and these smaller anions can't be seen. This process is referred as what, dissociation, or you can say as what, ionization. So this aqueous solution, when the solid salt which was very stable, when it was taken, it forms its own ions, Na plus and Cl minus ions. If you want to check these ions, then you have to do the conformative test. And if you do the conformative test, what you have to do, you just take another test tube, take some drops of solution into this, take some drops of another in another test tube, and add certain suitable reagent. If on addition of reagent you are getting precipitate, it means that these ions are present. So if these ions are giving its conformative test, so they are indicating these ions are present in the dissociated form. The bond which were present in the solid state has broken when it was taken into the water, and they are completely ionized. So this is the behavior of common salt when we take into the water. Similarly, student, if I am adding potash alum is what? It's a solid salt. When it is taken into the water, it disappears like common salt. If the common salt disappear, then we say the bond is broken by the water. If the bond is broken by the water, it indicates the bond which was present was ionic bond, because the water is able to break the ionic bond. So these ions gets ionized completely or dissociates completely, and the ions which are ionized are able to give its conformative test. So on this background, if I am going to dissolving this potash alum, so potash alum also disappear on stirring into the aqueous medium, and this FeCN twice KCN also disappear. But if you will check the conformative test of these ions, student, then you will check it. See, suppose if I am just taking 2 drops of the aqueous solution of this into another test tube to check existence of or conformative test of ions. Now I have taken 3 different test tubes, and in all these 3 different test tubes I have taken some drops of the aqueous solution of this to check conformative test of K plus, Al3 plus and SO4 2 minus. Now in order to check conformative test, I am adding suitable reagent. Student, when I am adding reagent to check conformative test of K plus, then I am getting precipitate. So formation of precipitate indicate there is a presence of K plus ion in the free state. If I am adding reagent in the second test tube to check aluminium presence, it also forms precipitate. If it forms precipitate, means Al3 plus ion is freely available. If I am going to add reagent to conform sulfate ion, so it also give its precipitate. So if all the ions on adding reagent is forming precipitate, it clearly indicates all ions which are present into this are ionized. Remember, the ions which are ionized, only those ions are able to produce its conformative test. So here the ions which are ionized are K plus, Al3 plus and SO4 2 minus ions. So can I say when the K2SO4 Al2SO4 is taken, it produces ions like K plus. You will find so many K plus ions. Here you will find so many Al3 plus ions. Along with this you will find SO4 2 minus ions. Student, if you will see K plus, Al3 plus and SO4 2 minus ions, when it was in the solid state, these were very stable and they were strongly held with each other. But the moment when they were taken into the water, the bond with their ionization clearly indicate the bond between K plus, Al3 plus and SO4 2 minus has broken. So if this part has broken and they are ionizing completely, so it indicates these all parts are ionizable. If this all parts are ionizable, that clearly indicates the existence bond between these ions in the solid state were ionic bond. Similarly, if I am going to dissolve this, then if the method of preparation of this salt is similar to like this salt, that is addition compound. So like potash alum, this salt also disappear on stirring. Like potash alum, which is giving conformative test of all its ions, which clearly indicates every ionic bond has broken, it undergoes complete ionization, and it gives conformative test of all ions, which indicate there is an individual existence of ions. In case of this salt when I'm adding, then it is expected it should produce K plus ion, Fe2 plus ion and Cn minus ion. So what I'm going to check their presence, I'm going to take this solution, two drops of this solution into the different test tube. Student, in order to check their presence when I'm adding reagent, to check conformative test of K plus, Fe2 plus and Cn minus ion. So I am getting conformative test of only K plus, but conformative test of Fe2 plus and Cn minus ions are not given. See, this is something very surprising result for us. If you will see, this compound FeCN twice 4KCN is prepared by same method as the potash alum, and we both belong to the same category that we say as what? Addition or molecular compounds. If potash alum is added in water, so it ionizes its constituent particles. It breaks all of its bonds and it produces its free ions, and all of its free ions give its conformative test. But here we are expecting that this ion should give conformative test of K plus, conformative test of Fe2 plus and conformative test of Cn minus. But this is giving conformative test of only K plus, it is not giving conformative test of Fe2 plus and Cn minus ions. When we are adding reagent, only the precipitate is formed in K plus. There is no formation of precipitate in case of what Fe2 plus and Cn minus ion. What it indicates? Please remember, the ion which give its conformative test means that ion has ionized, means that ion has attached in the salt through coordinate bond, ionic bond. So here which ion is giving its conformative test? K plus. Means K plus in the given salt was attached through what? Ionic bond. Now, which ions are present in the solid state but they do not ionize and they do not give conformative test? These ions are what? Fe2 plus and Cn minus. So Fe2 plus and Cn minus are not giving its conformative test. It is clearly indicating these parts are non-ionizable, means the bond which is present between Fe2 plus and Cn minus are non-ionic. Means when the potash alum, which is a type of addition compound, when dissolved in water, it behaves differently. And when this FeCN twice and KCN, which is also addition compound, when it is dissolved in water, it does not ionize completely. Some part it ionizes and some part does not ionize. So we are getting two different type of addition compounds which behave differently in the aqueous medium. Now if you see the result, student, when we are dissolving K2SO4, Al2SO4 thrice and 24H2O, so experiment shows that K plus ion is giving its conformative test. Al3 plus ion is giving its conformative test. SO4 2 minus is also giving its conformative test. Please remember, the ions which are giving its conformative test are ionizable. If they are ionizable, means in solid state they were attached with each other through ionic bond. Since they were attached through ionic bond, that's why that bond was broken by water. Now if these all parts are ionized, so we are expecting how many ions? If it is K2SO4, so I am expecting the solution should contain 2 mole of K plus ion. Al2SO4 thrice 2 moles of Al, and SO4 should be 4. So total ion there should be 2K plus 2Al3 plus and 4 SO4 2 minus ions. So total ion should be what? 8. And if you see the observed ions, then observed ion is also 8. So the salt expected and the observed ions are same, student. It clearly indicates this salt, when it is dissolved in water, it breaks into its constituent, it's fully ionized and it gives all of its ion into the aqueous medium. So if you will compare with this salt, I'm expecting it should give how many K plus ion? Let's check the formula. if you'll see, it is K, it should give 4K plus ion. It should give how many cyanide ion? 4Cn, and this is 4 and 6. It should give 6Cn minus ion. And how many Fe2 plus ion? Let us count it. It should give what? 1 Fe2 plus ion. So total ion it should produce is what? 10. But if you'll see, the ions we can count only if it is giving its confirmative test. Only the potassium ion is giving its confirmative test, but Fe2 plus and Cn minus is not giving its confirmative test. So this entire part will be taken as what? 1. So ions which are produced is 4K plus ion, and this entire non-ionizable part is taken as 1. So total ion will be what? 5. Can you see? In the previous case, expected and the observed ions are what? Equal. Here, the expected and the observed ions are not equal. It clearly indicates this salt does not completely ionize. So, more property if you'll compare. See, which parts are ionizable in case of this? See, we are getting K plus, we are getting Al3 plus, and we are getting SO42 minus. Why we are saying this part is ionizable? Because each part is giving its conformative test. So the ions which are giving its conformative test are intact with ionic bond, and these ionic bonds breaks in water, and they present in the free form in the aqueous solution, and that's why they give their conformative test, and that's why we say it is ionizable part. If you will see, ionizable part is only K plus, and the rest which remain unbroken in water, and that is FeCl6 4 minus. Got this? So when the first salt is dissolved in water, it produces only ionizable part, and the second salt when dissolved in water, it produces ionizable part and non-ionizable part. You got this? All ionizable part, if you'll see, there is no non-ionizable part here. All parts are ionizable. So these all ionizable parts which are giving its confirmative test are referred as simple ions. But this salt, when it is dissolved, student, it gives ionizable and non-ionizable part. So ionizable part is referred as simple ions, and non-ionizable part is referred as complex ions. So in better way to represent, the part which is ionized can be written outside this bracket, and the part which is stable in the solid as well as in the aqueous state, or which remains unbroken by water, which do not ionize or ionize to very less extent, or do not give its confirmative test, or non-ionizable part. This is the general representation of such type of addition compounds. See, this salt, if you'll see, and this salt, method of preparation is what same, but still their behavior is what different. So this salt is referred as double salt, and this salt is referred as complex salt. Since complex salt is consisting of complex ion, and this complex ion is nothing but this, it is a complex ion. Why we are saying it is a complex ion? Because it is non-ionizable. So this non-ionizable part is consisting of complex ion. So this complex ion is definitely consisting of non-ionic bond. So this compound is referred as coordination complex salt or coordination compounds, because this non-ionic part is consisting of metal and the donor group, that is ligand, and there is a coordinate bond. Since this coordinate bond is non-ionic, and that's why it is not broken by the water. So if we just On the basis of this discussion, student, if we just want to make the difference between this, can I say addition compound is consisting of two types? Though method of preparation for all addition compound is same, but still their properties into the aqueous medium is what different. So addition compound, there is one type which is referred as what? Double salt, and another type of salt which is referred as what? Complex salt, which also in modern days is referred as coordination compounds. Let's take the example of any double salt. Let's say double salt is KCl dot MgCl2 dot 6H2, and let's take the example of any complex salt K4FeCl6. Student, tell me the method of preparation of this KCl MgCl2 6H2 and K4FeCl6 are same or different? Yes, the method is same. So they both are referred as what? Addition compound, but because of their difference in the behavior, one is referred as double salt and one is referred as what? Complex salt. So what is the property we have seen? See, double salt, if you will see, exists only in solid state. Why we are saying it like this? Because if you will just add this solid salt into the water, that solid get disappear, it breaks into its constituent ions. Complex salt exists in solid as well as in aqueous and non-aqueous state. Some part is ionizable and some part is non-ionizable. So non-ionizable part exists in what? Non-aqueous state. Double salt is stable only in the solid state. When it is added into the water, it loses its identity in aqueous medium. It do not completely lose its identity in aqueous solution. Why we are saying completely? Because the part which is non-ionizable does not lose its identity. Ions present in constituents are obtained in the solution. Here, same ions present in constituents are not obtained in the solution. Like the ions which are present in the salt is K plus, Fe2 plus, Cn minus, but only K plus is giving its conformative test. Fe2 plus and Cn minus is not giving its conformative test. Means Fe2 plus and Cn minus ions are not obtained. Here if you will see, the salt K plus is Mg2 plus and Cl minus, all are giving its conformative test. About double salt, it produces only simple ions, but it produces ionizable and non-ionizable part. Ionizable part is referred as simple ion and non-ionizable part is referred as complex ions. All constituents ionizes. Here all constituents ionizes and give its conformative test. All constituent do not ionize and do not give its conformative test. Does all these ion conformative test? Yes. Does all these ion conformative test? No, only the ionizable part. It produces only dash type of ions, one type of ions, and that is simple ion. This type of the salt, it produces how many type of ions? Two type of ions. One is, you can say, simple and one is complex. It contains only ionic bond and it contains ionic as well as coordinate or also called dative bond. So all type of salt, student, which shows property like this is referred as double salt, and all type of the salt which shows property like this is referred as what? Complex salt. Since the name of the chapter is what? coordination compound. Please remember, coordination compound is different from double salt and it possesses all the property of this. So coordination compound is a type of complex salt. You got this? Now the part which is non-ionizable, student, it is actually consisting of non-ionic bond. So this non-ionic bond, as per science, which is present is what? Coordinate bond. So let us understand first what is coordinate bond and how it is formed. Student, this coordinate bond is a type of covalent bond. If you'll see the formation of hydronium ion, onium means the positive charge, formation of hydronium ion. Say for example, I have taken what? Water. The formula of the water is like this. Can we write this water in this form? HO. Water is having what? Bent shape molecule, and it is oxygen is consisting of what? Lone pair of electrons. Can I say, since oxygen is consisting of lone pair of electron, this molecule is electron rich? If it is treated with acids, let's say this acid is what? Acid means what? H plus ion. Can I say this is electron deficient? So what happened when the water approaches this H plus ion, which is electron deficient? Any one lone pair of oxygen of the water is given toward H plus ion. Can you see here? Both electrons are given from one side. If both electrons are given from one side, then it is indicated like this. See, can you see? This is the normal covalent bond. But here, if you'll see, this bond is which is formed between H plus and this is indicated like this arrow. This arrow should be towards acceptor atom. Now this part is enclosed into the bracket and it is written as what? Positive. This is hydronium ion. Student, if you'll see, this bond is normal covalent bond as one electron consisting of hydrogen and one electron consisting of oxygen. There is a equal sharing of electrons. Here if you'll see again, this bond is a normal covalent bond. This is because this one electron is of oxygen and one electron is of hydrogen. But student, if you'll see this, then here both electron has come from one end. Since both electron has come from one end, so this type of covalent bond where both electrons are given from one end is referred as what? Coordinate bond. So in science, if you'll see, what is coordinate bond? Check the definition. A bond in which one chemical species, Lewis base means it is electron donor. Are you finding any electron donor? Here the water molecule is acting as electron donor. Donates its lone pair of electron to another chemical species, which is Lewis acid. Who is the Lewis acid? The one who is electron acceptor. So when electron donor or electron acceptors combine, always a pair of electron is given from one end and it forms a type of bond which is referred as what? Coordinate bond. Similarly, in case of ammonium, if you see, this is the ammonia molecule, and in ammonia molecule nitrogen contains a lone pair of electron. When this ammonia molecule approaches H plus ion being electron deficient, nitrogen gives its both electron to H plus ion. Here if you see the direction of the arrow, this arrow is towards acceptor atom. So acceptor, electron acceptors are actually referred as what? Lewis acid. So if you'll see, student, the bond which is formed between this nitrogen and hydrogen is indicated by this arrow, means both electrons are given only by what? Nitrogen. So such type of bond where both electron comes from one end is referred as coordinate bond. So generally, coordinate bond is present in hydronium ion and also in case of what? Ammonium ion. Such type of the bond is also present in coordination compound. If you'll see the part, if you'll see K4 FeCN6, which we referred as what? Double salt. But when this double salt is dissolved in water, it showed that only this part is ionizable and the part which is enclosed in the bracket is non-ionizable. Since the part which is enclosed in the bracket is non-ionizable, so definitely it must be consisting of what? Non-ionic bond. Science says that the bond which is present in this part, like Fe, the charge of Fe is what? 2 plus, and Fe is attached with Cn, where the carbon is having lone pair of electron and it's a negative charge. So here Fe is acting as electron acceptor and Cn minus is acting as electron donor. Fe is Lewis acid and Cn minus is Lewis base. So since Fe is electron acceptor, so if you will see this lone pair of electron or electron is shared from one end. So what is the direction of the arrow? It is towards acceptor atom. Now this bond which is present, student, is a coordinate bond. It's a non-ionic bond and that is the reason why it is not broken in water. So if you will see this part and this part has specifically named as, this one is consisting of central metal atom and this one, the electron donor groups, are called as what? Ligands, and the bond between ligands and the central metal atom is a coordinate bond. So such type of arrangement makes this part what? Non-ionizable, because this bond is not broken by water. So this, because of this part, which is a characteristic part of a coordination compound, it differentiate, the coordination compound can be differentiated from the normal double salt. So how to define coordination compound, student? When you say coordination compound, it should always consisting of three things. What? Central metal atom, ligand, and there has to be coordinate bond. Remember, coordinate bond is indicated like this arrow, where the ligand is donor group, metal is acceptor group, and this bond is single bond, so it is a type of sigma bond. So in science, how we have defined coordination compound? A compound containing coordinate bond, or you can say non-ionic bond, typically between central metal atom and the number of other atom or groups, which we referred as ligands. So whenever we have to define coordination compound, student, so coordination compound is a type of compound which is consisting of central metal atom which is attached with a large number of ligands through coordinate bond. And the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of coordination compound is referred as coordination chemistry.